Mark's a Man United fan. He was at the game today. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, chaps. How are you doing?
Yeah, I bet you're feeling a bit more upbeat about Manchester United after leaving Old Trafford tonight.
Relieved. I think,
yeah, it's out of the way.
We haven't had that emotion yet. Well done, Mark. Relieved. Yeah, I'll put that down.
It was the thing with Ruben is he has a very, very strict philosophy, which I think a lot of the match-going fans were a little bit concerned that didn't have the players to match philosophy to play in that system. And he's what I would call, and I don't mean this in the pejorative sense, but he's a philosophy merchant. He's like Postecoglou at Tottenham. He's not going to change philosophy.
I'm not sure that's correct, because actually he did change his tactics today. Them two number 10s became really two number 8s and went back into a 4. So, you know, he gave a lot more protection to the team today. Ange doesn't really do that at Spurs.
Ever.
So I would suggest, and he's had massive success with this system, so he's going to stay with this system. But you do need to tweak your system, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I thought he did today, and it worked dividends for him. And as I say, you use that word relieved. And if I was a Man United fan, not only would I be relieved with the performance, I'll be relieved that he hasn't got a bit of Ange going on with Spurs fans, and that he changed his tactics today slightly.
So we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, probably got a better away end at Anfield. You don't get the you, and I'm obviously not as well versed in it in yourself, but having managed at the top level, it was just in the performance was a relief, because there's been, the relegation word being uttered and things like that, and we know Liverpool are gonna the title this year, and they're going to equal our 20 titles, which
amazing.
is a tough one to take. Just to see that performance, and just if Harry would have netted that in the final seconds, somebody's telling me he may have been offside.
It did look a little bit like he was just straight offside, but it would have been great if they got it.
The whole booing situation with Zirkzee, what did you make of that last weekend? And did you hear the comments from Bruno?
Yeah, was Newcastle game. Disgrace on a human level to see play a young lad being booed by, let's be clear, a sizable crowd. Human level, your heart went out to him, and there's a lot of discord. I with the same people at the game for years and years, and we were arguing about it. The guy behind me was booing, and I was saying, this is ridiculous. But one thing I would say is I'd like to think that the hardcore, the home and away support booing, and today we tried to remedy it. We kind of sung his name pretty much throughout the...
that was noticeable.
Yeah, just to try and it just would have been perfect for him to get that assist for the goal, but it wasn't to be. But I think it's interesting hearing Amorim's comments at the end saying that we'll see what happens in the market. Yeah. I do think a move is suited for him. He's not physically able really to meet the demands.
Yeah, I actually don't think he's kind of formed enough. Do you know what I mean? I think he does need a loan move, and I think I think you're absolutely right. I think Amorim was definitely kind of suggesting that he might be one of the ones that goes out the door this particular window, but I don't think they'll sell him. I think it'll be a loan.
Let's go to Jenks, as a Liverpool fan. He joins us. Good evening.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Very well. It was. People went into that game thinking that you was going to absolutely steamroll Man United. Did you think that going into that game, or did you know that what this fixture is?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought we was going to absolutely batter them. But,
and
I said before the game, though, I said it's just like United to turn up against us. Do you know what I mean? For a change and do the business, and they played well. But I want to talk about something else. Pards touched on it earlier about the voices of discontent, and I'm getting a bit fed up with people ringing in, obviously Liverpool fans, and slating Trent. I've heard it in the pub all night about, okay, he's had a below par game, but I think people need to remember all the assists, the goals, the pinpoint 50, 60-yard balls that have led to a goal.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? They never complain then, but he's had one bad game in God knows how long, and they just jump all over him. And I've heard, we'll go to Real Madrid then and all this. All night I've heard it, and I'm just like, I can't stand fickle fans.
Yeah, well,
I my own, and it just, I don't know, it just does my head in.
I think I think it's great that you've called in and said that, if I'm honest, because I think, you know, the players themselves in that dressing room will be the same feeling exactly the same as you. You know, that he hasn't played well today. He had he had a lot of reasons not to play well today, didn't he? I mean, as I say, he was on every back page. Everybody was talking about this channel was all over him. Blah blah blah. Real Madrid, this and that. Is it right? Is it wrong? Contract. Blah blah blah. So bless him. You know, he's had a terrible week in terms of being at the top of the agenda. Let's put it that way. But you know, I'm with you, Jenks, and I know he'll bounce back anyway. So he'll probably get rested for that small cup game he's got at Spurs this week, and then he'll be back and hopefully roaring for you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.